Hey, what is up guys, Marcy here, back to do another video, and I have an epic game for you today on Tiki Tomo. It's going to be Nod versus GDI. It's as classic as it gets. We're going back to the roots of Command & Conquer, where there was just only 2 factions in the game back in 1995. But this is a whole 12 years after. This is Kane's Wrath. And it does have a community patch on top. And by the way, thank you very much, Lefrista, once again for the gifted sub. I'm casting this from YouTube, but I do appreciate the support whenever I get it. And Lefrista, huge honorary mention to him for supporting my Twitch channel over the years. So this game in particular really stood out to me, and you guys are going to soon see why. Now, I was versus Senna here, who does always pick random, myself, but decided to go for a 3 scout opening on this map. If you don't know what you're against, it's a good idea to scout the flanks so you don't get hit by descents. Not only descent, but your opponent could also hide a flame tank there. It's possible. Now, one thing I particularly like about Tiki Tomo is the blue Tiburum, in that it's tucked away near your base, but it can also be harassed. So if you're not careful and you send harvesters to that field, then your opponent can harass them and take them out. So you've got to be pretty cautious about that. And they do grow pretty quickly. So sending harvesters early is also a good idea. When it's the perfect time to send blue tip harvesters, I don't know. Mathematically, I don't know, but it's typically when you're able to do so without a huge risk in them being lost to your opponent's harassing forces. Now, him being the GDI player, he's going to be more concerned of me harassing him, because I have Bike Buggy, which is more mobile, more adept at killing harvesters. They have more speed, they have more damage. Bikes are a little bit easier to kill, however. Then you take 2 pitbull shots, whereas the pitbulls, they take considerably more. One thing to note is pitbulls generally don't perform well versus Bike Buggy. And why you ask this, why you might ask this question, is because nobody really does the scatter move on pitbulls. They just all let them get stacked up, and that's why they perform so poorly, because bikes, especially late game with tip core, have splash damage, and if you don't do a line formation or spread them out, then that's how you're going to lose all your bits. And that's generally why a lot of people think that pitbulls are bad against Bike Buggy, but it's not really the case. It's just how they use them. So this game was an eco game. I didn't do anything fancy early on, but it does give me time to go over the game, the map, talk about a few things before things get really heated up, which will soon be the case. I'm going for a second war factory, which is pretty standard after a 3rd refinery. You want to have some units on the map just so you can not necessarily kill your opponent, but just keep him scouted so you know what he's going to transition to next. If he's going hammerheads, or if he's taking up to tier 3, getting out on Marv to harvest your tip field. One potent build order on this map as GDI is going for a 2nd MCV, sending it to the enemy's 3rd tip field, and just sending up a Reclamator hub there and ultimately harvesting that field with the Marv. So it's good to have some units out, such as Bike Buggy, just to see what is coming your way. If you just sit in your base and don't scout the map, then literally anything could be coming. Can't stress how important it is to scout, and that's why I'm building units, more or less. It's just to know what I'm up against. Now, I did not pull my bikes away because I want to defend this base off with Scorpion 6. I felt like I had sufficient forces there to defend him off, especially with the laser turrets. I've got 1 cube, but I don't really need to place it just yet. And I will get myself a harvester kill. I'm going to sneak into this blue tip field, see if he's hiding a harvester there. I think I got a blue tip harvester, full of blue tip, coming back to unload, which is going to give me $2,800 of resources. That's a huge boost in income. Now sadly I don't have Syvert's overlay enabled when I'm playing. Obviously, you can't play with that. It would be cheating. But it would be nice to see in the aftermath where each players were, whilst I'm also casting from first-person view. But yeah, beggars can't be choosers. It's nice that we have these things, and I really wasn't expecting in 2025 a scoreboard that updates dynamically like we see on Cyber's channel. I used it a couple videos ago for that tournament series I casted. Going for infantry at this point. Infantry, he knows about it. He's going hammerhead. I need to get to tier 3 as soon as possible because infantry, especially a not infantry, doesn't perform that well against the hammerheads unless you severely overwhelm the enemy forces. A good idea against hammerheads, I feel like, is to mix in militant squads, not the rockets, but just the regular militant squad, because it forces the hammerhead to reacquire each of the members in that squad, which probably will make it a little bit tougher to kill if your opponent isn't microing every single rocket squad down with a waypoint. I've got an attack in the bottom with my tier 3 about to be dropped. I can use the redemption, which I will be doing here. I don't feel like it's necessary just yet. I'm surprised he has not got the AP ammo upgrade researched at the moment. I'm going to expand at this point. And when I see a resistance here, I'm going to put down that redemption. I've got the bike buggy as well in anticipation of him sending in the hammerheads to respond to this. And now I'm getting the much needed EMP from those revived awakened squads, which are going to be able to lock down those watchtowers and, more importantly, the Shatterer, which is so effective in this type of situation. Shatterer does get taken out, and now I'm targeting down the APCs and the watchtowers. So a lot of that infantry is still left to be destroyed. The bike buggy is amongst them as well, and whilst that is happening, I've left my base unattended. There's predator tanks, there's pitbulls there about to harass me. There was a little bit of lag in this game, but it will clear up soon. A little bit of lag, I don't know why it was. Me and Senna sometimes have moments where it does this. I'm going to put the air tower right at the edge of the map so that the Armageddon bomber spawns in right on top of those units, which will get me a handful of predator tanks for that mine drop. That's the only reason really I built that air tower. I don't have plans to go for venoms yet. I do maintain control of a bike buggy force. Some of those bikes did get picked off. It's sad that I didn't go into the blue tip field to hunt that harvester down. I think it would have been worth it to stack all those bikes just for that one harvester there. So he's going to get himself some blue tip. I need to work on harvesting blue tip myself at this point. And I need to put on the pressure. That was a good engagement I took earlier on. I doubt he's been able to rebuild his army so fast. So I'm going to go ahead and take him out now. Maybe destroy this tip spike while I'm at it, because he does control a 2-spike lead. That cannot be ignored, so I'm going to destroy that. I just want to make sure that I have my speakers disabled. Yeah, they were actually on. Hopefully that doesn't interfere too much into the microphone. I don't think it will, but they're off now. Okay, so yeah, I'm moving in with the avatars. Avatar info is a really potent combination as a nod against GDI. If you're ever struggling what to build, just go for avatar, rocket squads, and have a handful of venoms to destroy hammerheads if they have hammerheads. It's going to serve you well in almost all situations. Now, the one thing I'm unable to counter here are the juggernauts in the back. Bikes are going to sweep in, find some harvesters. That one has blue smoke trail, so it was at the blue field earlier. But I was able to pick off a handful of units. I'm not letting him steamroll me with a huge army. I'm keeping those GDI forces low in number. I've been harvesting from his blue field, but he at this moment has also been harvesting from my blue field, so we're both taking each other's blue tip, funnily, in this game. And I feel like now is a good time to go for that EMP coils, because he's going to have that Marv out soon, and I need an effective answer to the Marv. One such answer is to go for EMP Raider Buggies. I can lock those down, One stealth tank is out. This might force an over response out of center. There's just only the one stealth tank, and he's put down a surveyor. We're seeing a lot more of those nowadays due to them deploying faster, having a bigger build radius. They have more health now. They can withstand orca strikes. So they certainly are a viable option to expand with. Before they were kind of a meme. I luckily get the Pipple there. I actually splashed 2 harvesters, so that was as much as I could have hoped for a single Vertigo at that moment. But it softened the harvesters up a little bit for me to take them out there with the stealth tank. And now I'm going for more avatars. This game is going to descend into the late game. I've got 3 Vertigos. A 4th will be about to complete. And I also see his refineries are not spread apart together. So that's a big mistake that you want to avoid against you don't want to have your refineries too close together. So that will delay him economically for a little bit. But you're going to soon see why that is not going to matter. And in fact, I am not really ahead in eco at all. So yeah, he's going to move in soon with his army. My tier 3 is in a very precarious position. It's unfortunately pretty vulnerable. Those juggernauts are going to be taken out en route to my base. 3 of them do get destroyed, but I want to clean up the husks, and the only reliable way of cleaning up husks for me at this point in time is to go for a venom or 2 to take out those husks. I am also building stealth tanks to hunt down hammerheads. He does though have pitbulls to detect stealth, plus he's got that defensive tower from earlier on in the game, and the Marv, I just have no answer to it. He has fully garrisoned it up. It has engineers inside, so it's going to get some repairs. And at this point, I am struggling to know what the reason is for me not having any resources. I have like 12 harvesters on my expansion, and yet when I most need income to use the mine drop, I don't have any. Now I use the mine dropper. He's moving the Marv, sadly, so this will not land. I was hoping for him to stay there with the Marv, but it's going to completely miss. The Marv is pushing in. I don't have any infantry left. The Vertigos swept in. They killed a handful of those Juggernauts, but he still has that Marv. And if he has Hammerheads to reinforce, then I'm in trouble. He's got Hammerheads, as you see. He's also got Pitbulls. So let's see what these Venoms can accomplish. The Pitbulls are getting shot up by the avatars, which I've all now lost. Cleaning up those husks, but really what I should be focusing on at this point is killing the hammerheads with those venoms. The Vertigos are pretty vulnerable now. I'm going to soon relocate them to the other air tower. I anticipated this would happen, and I needed to build that air tower before my tier 2 was lost. Fortunately, I was able to rebuild that one. And I think with these 3 Vertigo bombers, I can take out the Marv. Plus, I have Venoms, just the 2, but it's still going to be enough to take out the Hammerheads. Plus, the Vertigos have pretty decent anti-air in the form of their tail gun. They only shoot from the rear, so it may look strange, but Vertigos in 1.02 Plus function very differently to vanilla Vertigos. They actually realistically have a tail gun on them. I did fix that, and it does animate, and it works as it should. They're very powerful, the Vertigos, against aircraft, but only against aircraft that are standing still. If your opponent moves their units away, then obviously you're never going to be able to get behind them, as the Vertigos require for their AA to function. I'm going to counter-attack once again. I'm not going to let him have any time, and those Vertigos are going to sweep in. I was able to kill 2 Juggernauts. He's reclaiming husks constantly. Vertigo comes in. That one, unfortunately, will be taken out. Hammerheads responded to something. Not sure what he killed just then. I think he was destroying husks. He denied me those husks. So I'm not going to have avatars, unfortunately. But what I do have are 2 Vertigo bombers plus 8 Venoms. I may as well just take a swipe at this tip spike when our tip is dry and depleting. I think at this point, tip spikes matter a lot more. There's the GDI support power. He gets vengeance for the catalyst, uses his own one-click, takes out all of my venoms. That was huge, that airstrike there. And Green Zero over Discord told me several times, Leap, why did you make Supersonic more expensive? Well, I think you know why, right? I'm going to get hit now by this APC spam, but you know what? I have the laser capacitor upgrade, and the laser turrets benefit from it. I don't have the quad turrets, sadly, but these laser turrets are going to be excellent against APCs. They're just the base defense I need versus this type of unit. I'd argue they're better than even the Obelisk of Light at this point, especially when the infantry is there to assist. The fast rate of fire can kill those APCs quickly. There's going to be no overkill. And he was taken out before he had the chance to retreat. And now I'm going to go and attack him. So both of us are just continuously attacking and counterattacking. It's so back and forth at the moment. I'm moving in with these vertigo. I was looking for a valid target. I see a harvester. I'm not going to aim between the refinery and the airfield. I get both of those structures and the harvester. That's going to promote my vertigo to heroic. And how rare is that? How often do you see a heroic vertigo bomber? Not too often. On my channel, I don't think I've had too many of those heroic vertigos. And now moving in here with this infantry. There's two heroic rocket squads, but it's still not going to be enough because he's got AP ammo, APCs. He's also building watchtowers. I'm going to put down this tier 2, start researching dozer blades. Also, what I can purchase at this point is the quad tower upgrade. If I don't already have that, I'm taking a blue tip at this point. I'm going to try and aim between these juggernauts and destroy them both with the vertigos. And if you didn't know, a heroic vertigo can one-shot kill juggernaut. So you just need that one to kill a juggernaut from full health. I'm not going to let that infantry force fall so easily. I stopped to take out the hammerhead first. And I'm microing because now at this point there's just no way to recover my forces. What you see here is all that I have left. I do have a heroic vertigo, but that has a slow reload time. I'm not sure if the reload time is affected by the heroic veterancy. I do not believe that it is, though I could be mistaken. Something that could be researched, perhaps. And the AA damage is going to be nuts. That's one thing about the heroic rank. It will make them superb at killing aircraft. But I instead opted to kill that refinery. And now these Scorpion tanks in the bottom. I'm going to try and finally destroy this base of his in the south. I find some hammerheads. He's got a lot of forces. He's been leeching all the blue tip. And what do I have left, really? Like a handful of Scorpion tanks and 2 vertigos. He's got the railgun upgrade. He's also got juggernauts. He's pushing in with railgun units and juggernauts and hammerheads. He's got everything there to deal with me. Plus he's got APCs mixed in, so those rocket squads are not going to be able to thin out the force of units that he has as quickly as I'd like. And there's going to be a big battle unfolding soon. The MCV is moving into the fray. It will want to stay off that tip field so it can deploy. If it goes over that tip, then it will be destroyed. And now here it begins, everyone. I'm going to send in these EMP buggies, hoping to EMP those juggernauts. Vertigo's coming in to destroy the juggernauts. I got one there with a heroic vertigo, and the second one was heavily damaged enough for these Scorpion tanks to take it out. But that unfortunately is going to mean all my tanks go down because those railgun preds are causing insane amounts of damage to them. I split off several of these tanks to crush the husk. If you didn't know, you can crush enemy husks, and that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to run over those husks. If he gets one of those back, I'm in huge trouble. Sadly, though, I'm not going to be able to get both of them. One of my vertigos failed, but I still maintain control of the heroic vertigo, and now I have just 7 Scorpion tanks and a vertigo bomber. Vertigo gets a huge hit there on those tanks, damaging them severely, and I use the mine drop as well. He goes into the mines, loses another Predator tank. I am desperately trying to hold this off, but it's going to be tricky because he has the juggernauts back there, so I can no longer sit near the defense of my war factory. I'm going in here. They're hoping to kill the juggernaut, which I do with the Scorpion tank, and that one goes heroic. I do now have a heroic Scorpion tank under my control and a heroic vertigo bomber. He's going to try and take back that husk. He's got rail pred still. He's continuing to produce those. And it's just be down to that one unit there on the front. As you see, there's just one Scorpion tank with heroic rank, but that's insane. It's really powerful, but it's not going to be able to solo a GDI force. 3 Predator tanks or railguns can probably still kill that. But I do have an ace up my sleeve, and that is the Vertigo Bomb. We're going to sweep in there and kill the Juggernaut, which is just being a nuisance. I need to get rid of it because it can take out my War Factory. And I've only got one of those. It may have been targeting it down, but the heroic tank is going to thin out this force. He took out the husk, and Senna has just 2 Predator tanks remaining. He's down to now just the 1 Predator tank. And I'm looking back at this Vertigo, hoping it reloads as quick as possible. I was so on edge at this point. This game was down to the wire, which is insane considering that all that had happened in this match. And I'm going to come through finally in epic style with the heroic Scorpion tank, with the heroic Vertigo carrying that game, I would say. It dealt untold amounts of damage. So Vertigo is making an awesome appearance in that game, definitely showcasing what they're capable of in that matchup. And I thought that was an awesome match there. GDI versus Nob. It was slow to begin, but certainly it was action-packed, and even watching it back, it was entertaining, for me at least, to watch it from this perspective. Anyways guys, hope you all enjoyed that video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. I do appreciate that. And before I go, I'd like to thank my patrons for the continued support, for helping me and my channel, and for making this all possible with 1.02 Plus. There's been a recent update that consumed several days of my time, and I had to also listen to community feedback and take everything into consideration. It's an ever ongoing process, and I feel like the game now is better than it has ever been, thanks to your support. Anyways, this is it from me, Master Leaf, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.